Your boxing styles were oftentimes compared. Both of you had pretty devastating left hooks. What did you learn from watching Joe Frazier?
Well, I watched basically just to basically be a competitive fighter because, like I was stating earlier when I was discussing with my wife, these guys were basically the quintessential apex at fighting when it was at its zenith, and those guys, they were the yardstick. When you say Joe Frazier, you have to include Muhammad Ali because these guys were basically the yardsticks in which everybody that came behind them had to judge up to because those guys were phenomenal. They
You,
were, it's just you can't explain what they brought to boxing as far as the competitive spirit of boxing,
you
in which you
mentioned.
can, you don't see. I don't mean to interrupt you, Brooke, but it's just really how I felt about the two fighters you asked me. To see them on a statistic scale, you can't see. Basically, they may see how tall a fighter, how much he weighs, but these guys were just. They had statistics. They had special gifts you couldn't even see on the statistic scale. They were just really great fighters from
So,
a spiritual perspective and a
with their
physical
special
perspective.
gifts, with Mike Tyson, with their special gifts, though, I'm just curious, do you think Frazier was forever underrated as a boxer because of his tough two? Those were two tough losses to Muhammad Ali, despite that initial win.
Absolutely not. No way. No one who ever knows, particularly the art of boxing, could ever look at Joe Frazier and ever say he was underrated or overrated. Joe Frazier, forgive me, is particularly a god in the sport of boxing.
Do you think Frazier's hometown of Philadelphia could have been more respectful of him? I mean, plenty of fans bring up the fact that the city has a huge statue of Rocky Balboa, no statue of Joe Frazier.
Well, listen, I don't basically have anything or know anything about that situation, but uh, Joe Frazier's legacy supersedes a statue in downtown Philadelphia. That's very insignificant compared to his legacy.